So what they don't tell you about working with Iman Gaji. Now, I had the privilege of working with Iman back in 2022. It was June of 2022. And that's essentially when he started this whole, short form domination, right? And during that time, he put out an Instagram story, and I was part of his content team, by the way. I was one of his short form editors. He put out a Instagram story, and he was like, yo, I'm looking for some people to join the team, the content team, looking for some editors, just fill out this quick form. And obviously, as a broke college student, I'm like, oh my word, this is my one-way ticket to break free from the matrix. Like, obviously, I have to do this, right? I did college for like a year or like 6 months, and I'm like, this is complete bullshit. Like, what am I even doing? I learned this stuff back in grade 10. So obviously, I applied, and just a couple of days later, I got the job. So first off, I got an email from Spencer, which was the content manager by that time. And it's like, yo, I love the application. Please conduct an interview so we can see if you're actually a human and you got the skills required, whatever. And as I hopped on that Zoom call a couple of days later, I had such a shitty laptop that the mic didn't even work. So I hopped on the Zoom link, super excited, kind of nervous as well, because like this is my one-way ticket to, join the real world and escape the matrix, right? I'm kidding. But I joined and the mic didn't work. So I was out there like frantic. Oh my goodness, this is my one-way ticket. And I am so grateful for Spencer for rescheduling the call. And I hopped on the call with my iPhone because my iPhone was literally better than my laptop. Anyway, I got that job. Worked with him on for 10 months. And during that time, I learned so much. And looking back, it was just like, I was so lucky. It's just like action. What's like that formula for luck, whatever, like action, preparation, all that bullshit, luck. Okay. I was lucky in my journey, and I'm going to claim that as well. I'm always lucky. I just claim that. But anyway, I just want to share some lessons on what I learned working with this guy. And he's an absolute freak. And, let's just hop straight into it, I guess. And number one, that kind of contradicts my point where I'm saying he's a freak. He's actually just a normal guy, right? People put him on a pedestal, but at the end of the day, he's human. He enjoys wine. He watches Netflix at the end of the day. After a hard day's work, he watches some Netflix. He even told a story where he drank a bit too much. Like, I'm sure he'll be fine with me sharing that. And the only difference is he's just been relentlessly at it for 10 years. Just like, that's all it is. And all these successful millionaires and all these people, they say that, oh, I'm not as special. Like, you can do it, work hard. But like, that is really it. Like, there's this quote from Robert Greene where it says that to be treated like a king, act like one, or something along those lines. So how you see yourself and what you think about yourself is how people will treat you. Like, that's where this whole delusional optimism comes from. It's like, you think you are that guy before you're that guy. Like, you just have to do that. And he's just been doing it for 10 years. And also with compounding, it's like, in year one, you're not going to experience as much results, although you're going to experience some newbie gains. So it's the same as with the gym and entrepreneurship. You're going to experience newbie gains. And this is my number 4. It is the richest I've ever felt was working with him on making $3,000 a month. And I'm working like 10 times that now. But I feel broken now, which is crazy. But back to my previous point, he's just been at it for literally 10 years. And the thing is, it compounds every single year. So year one, you're going to experience newbie gains. It's like when you start reading these books, as you can see right there, like I just love learning. I just think it's amazing. And I just love doing it for its own sake. Like, I don't necessarily do it for the outcome, even though it's increased intelligence, increased just like all of these things that help you in business as well. Anyway, he's just been doing it for 10 years. That's all I want to say. And every single year you experience this compounding, okay? So year one, you're not going to experience as much results when it comes to your entrepreneurship journey. It's like, making money, all of that. Year two, you might experience some, results, some outputs from all these inputs you're putting in, all this hard work. Year three, some things might change. Year four, it's like, oh, wow, like things are really starting to get moving. Year five, it's like, what is even happening? Year six, like, boom, boom. It's just like every single year just gets like, it's like that. So if you're listening to this, it's like this, what do you call it? Like, not a bell curve, but like a curve that just goes straight up, like 90 degrees up. At the beginning, it's like, what are you even doing? Like, this isn't going to work. Like, where's all the results? You've been working for a year straight. You're not seeing any results. And then all of a sudden, boom. It's like, whoa, where did this come from? That is entrepreneurship. Like, that is it, okay? That is like this whole entrepreneurship thing. for the first 1 to 2 years, you're not going to experience as much results. People are going to say, oh, don't do this thing. It's like, it's not working. You can see you putting in all this effort, all this work. You're not getting anything out of it. It's like, that is entrepreneurship. You have to just like cut out all the noise and be like, no, this is going to work. And then year 3, you just like jump to level 100 and people are like, what just happened? It's like, they don't see all these boring work you've been doing for the last 2 years. So all that to say, Iman has just been at it for literally a decade straight. And he's also been lucky in his journey. He started his personal brand like 10 years ago. It's like all these things are just like, it's just like perfection, essentially. But yeah, he's just a normal guy. Number 2, the culture at Grow Your Agency at the time is just insanely strong. The reason his team is so dedicated isn't just because they love their work. This is a very, very important point, so listen up. It's because they're working with Iman. That kind of leadership instills a sense of purpose, something you can cultivate in your own company as well. So this is big. Like, I'm telling you right now, people would literally work for free, if they could work with Iman, just because they are working with Iman. It's like, you can then use that as form of a testimonial, or it's like, I worked with Iman. It's like, you can use that in, jobs. I don't know if jobs even know of Iman, but like, let's say you're an entrepreneur and you're looking to work with other creators or other business owners. And you can say, I worked with literally the biggest entrepreneur guy, youngest, most successful entrepreneur in the space, whatever. And then you can use that, obviously, like cultivate a lot of skills, but just like that culture of them. And as I mentioned with the Robert Greene quote, act like a king and you'll be treated like one. Like, he embodies this. So when you work with him, it's like, oh my goodness, I need to do the best job ever because like he's watching over me. It's like, I need to do an amazing job like that. Okay. Because you are working for him. Essentially, like, obviously he's like the boss, you're working with him, you're working for him, whatever. And that leadership, like, that is what leadership is all about. It's from the top down. So what I mean by this is, you need to be excellent at your craft. Like, you need to be exceptional, because you are only going to hire people most of the time who's got less expertise than you, especially at the beginning. You're going to hire people that are worse at the job than you. Obviously, as you get bigger, you build a big personal brand. That's also why I'm so big on personal branding and like just branding in general, and personal branding in general, and just posting a lot of content inbound. Like, it's like the 8th wonder of the world. Okay, is content. And all that to say, he's built up such a big personal brand, and when people want to work for him, they would literally work for free and do the best job ever because they're working with him and they can use that expertise in other fields. So number 3, they have a lot of fun. So despite the intense work ethic and like just like this drive to excellence, is that they have a lot of fun. The team knows how to enjoy themselves. Like, every single month, we would have a cocktail hour where we would drink like a glass of wine or whatever, and just chat. Like no agenda, nothing like that. Drink a glass of wine. It's literally called cocktail hour, where everyone in the team, has a drink and then just chats. Okay. But yeah, like on these calls, no one would really talk because they were like, what is happening? Like, we've got Iman on the Zoom call. It's like, whoa. Like, anyway, it's like there's a weird dynamic. And the Slack channel literally includes a fun section. So on their Slack channel, there's like fun. And also one of their values for their company is, we don't hire boring people. So that just emphasizes as well that they hire people that they don't find boring. And what's the opposite of boring is like having fun and just being unique and special in what you do and just being authentic, and not being like normal. Okay. They hate normal people and boring people. They don't hire, even if you're the best at what you do and you're boring. Probably the accountant is fine, but like, when it comes to an actual big team member, like a creative director, you don't want to be boring. Okay. So they have a lot of fun. And then also they have a better everyday section. So this is where they encourage self-improvement. So I would be there most of the time, like in the better every day. I would just like post what books I'm reading, the workout I just had, I went for a run, whatever. And mostly it's just like books you're reading and also workouts and also what you're doing with your business. So like better every day, that just encourages people to, improve themselves, the whole self-improvement thing. So that's super, super cool when I saw that. I don't see a lot of companies really incorporating that. It's like having fun, and also having like a better everyday channel where you post your improvements that you are doing throughout the week. Number 5, You can learn more from observation than direct advice. So essentially, you learn a lot more from osmosis than you do just like coaching, okay? Because, and I heard this as well when I was networking in Cape Town like a week or two ago, you share so much more to people over like a dinner than a one-on-one call. You know, like a one-on-one mentorship call, obviously that's very, very valuable, but you share a lot of nuance over dinner that you don't necessarily share to like your clients. Like you share a lot more to your friends than you do your clients. Because over dinner, you're having a glass of wine, you're relaxing. It's like you're sharing so much more nuance, how you operate, how you talk, what you value. It's like, it's so much more different. And when you spend a lot of time around someone, you pick up on these things through osmosis. That's how we learn as children. It's like when we were younger, we would just absorb how our parents would interact, how they would talk, if they were loving in the house, shouting. It's like, you would pick up on these cues. And it's the exact same working with Iman as well. I would just observe how he moves. And I wasn't really working like alongside him, but like on the calls and on the Slack channels and stuff like that. I could see how he operates. Okay, very professional. And that's how he conducts himself, and obviously has a lot of fun. Like one meeting, he literally brought like a samurai sword to the meeting and just like was just like throwing the sword on the Zoom call. Like, just having fun as well. I think that's very, very important, especially nowadays. If you're doing all of this hard work and you're not having fun, like what are you actually doing? We are living in this amazing time where you as a 20-year-old can make a doctor's salary in literally 1 to 2 years. It's people would study for 14 years and work 10 years straight after the 14 years of studying to only make the amount of money you're making in 2 years as a young 20-year-old. It's like, it's insane. So, you don't have to necessarily put in so much work to get the same amount of output when it comes to money, but the real problem comes when you're not enjoying it. That's like the challenge of this modern century. Okay, and with all this AI and automations, and when robots are going to do all the work, I'm going on a side tangent, but this is very important. The real challenge right now, sorry about that. The real challenge right now is not necessarily to make as much money as possible and just to push. If you are, even I am built that way, like I am wired that way, but like, bro, you need to really step back for a second and actually analyze what you are doing. It's so, so important. I'm extremely driven, but like when you just drive yourself to the ground, it's like, what are you actually doing? So step back. I decided to journal some more as well. And it's very important when you make so much money to actually enjoy the process, because you're making the money that someone would work for 24 years. You're making that in 2 years, and you actually have to enjoy it. And so the new challenge right now is to enjoy life. Hopefully that makes sense. I even wrote a tweet as well. Let's see if I can find it. It's a very good one. The new challenge of this century isn't necessarily to make as much money as possible, but like to actually enjoy it. Like that is our challenge. Let's see if I can find this. Yeah. In an era of abundance, the challenge is meaning, not survival. All right. If you don't learn how to enjoy life now, when conditions are most favorable, you dishonor this era, which will lead to numerous problems for future generations. A species that forgets how to be happy and peace will invent new ways to suffer. So I want you to rewind this like 10 seconds and then just listen to this again. Like in an era of abundance, the challenge is meaning, not survival. If you don't learn how to enjoy life now, if you don't learn to enjoy what you are doing now, when conditions are most favorable, it's the best time ever in history, like where kids can make money that would have like so much money, like in your teenage years, when conditions are most favorable, you dishonor this era. If you don't enjoy it, you dishonor this era. That is our challenge. It's not necessarily to survive. Obviously, there are third world countries, but if you're listening to this, I assume you are an entrepreneur, striving to become better in all aspects. So you are probably fine. You have a roof over your head. You have food. You have a phone. You can listen to this video or watch this video. So you're living in total abundance. So when conditions are most favorable, like it is right now, objectively speaking, like this is the best time ever. And if you don't enjoy it, you dishonor this era. Okay? So I don't want to hammer on that any longer. So number 4, the richest I've ever felt was making $3,000 a month working with Iman. So essentially, I went from zero, literally zero on my bank account, to making $3,000 a month, which is roughly 50,000 Rand a month. Okay. I felt my absolute richest. That was peak. Even now when I'm making 10 times that, like, I feel broker. It's crazy. Like, because the ceiling just increased so much. So the ceiling, what I mean by that is how much I believe I can achieve increased so much. And my reality hasn't really caught up to that yet. So when I went from zero to $3,000 a month, I did not even believe I could make $3,000 a month, 50,000 Rand. Like, well, I kind of did, but it just came out of nowhere, like instantly, kind of, okay? Because I didn't really do much work for it. Like, the job was just like kind of handed to me. Like, I didn't do the outreach. I didn't create an offer. I did nothing like that. I didn't build my agency. I went from zero to $3,000 a month. By just getting a job, essentially, like a very, very high paying job, in South Africa at least. And that was like zero to hero instantly. That's why I felt so rich, because my reality and what I believe I could achieve was like at the same level. Okay. And now when I'm at like 30K a month, right? And I believe I can make 200K a month. Like, that's where my belief kind of stops at this moment. Like, I believe I can make 200K a month. That's close to 10x where I'm at right now. It's like 7x. So I am almost 7 times more miserable, in a sense, or not satisfied, because I know I can achieve $200,000 a month, but I'm at 30. So there's like this weird disconnect where I'm not where I believe I can be, and that creates like misery. Okay, and obviously that's why I mentioned that tweet earlier. It's like, if you can't enjoy where you are right now, like Naval also mentioned, if you aren't happy with a cup of coffee, you won't be happy with a yacht. It's like, if you can't be happy with a cup of coffee, you won't be happy with a yacht. Okay, so yeah. And number 6, I kind of messed it up right now. Anyway, number 4 and number 5, I just switched around, but that's fine. Number 6, mastery over everything. Whether it's sales, marketing, leadership, mastery is the expectation. So, working with Iman, like, I don't know how you say his surname. Is it Gaji? Like, I don't even know. Iman, right? Mastery is like the expectation. When we were on the daily calls and also on the weekly calls with Iman, when he was checking out the content and how the team was performing, he was like, bro, this is like your life's work. And this is not the quality I expect of you. So he said it in a very, he was kind of like, aggressive, but also like, bro, you can achieve so much more. You are capable of doing so much better work. Like, why are you settling for this? Like, this is like your work right now. In the future, you might do better work, you might do more work, whatever the case may be, different industry. But right now, like, this is your work. If you can't put everything into this, you won't put everything into your career in the future. So treat this like, you also mentioned that you need to treat it like your art, like an art project. Like, you need to be very, very cognizant of the detail. It's like very detail oriented. You need to be completely OCD about wealth. Okay, Ty Lopez also made a video about this. People think that creating wealth and making lots of money, like, I have zero doubt I'll make 200K a month, like zero. I don't know why I just said that, but like, I just have such a big conviction. So whatever happens now in the business, I'm totally fine. Like, I'm because I know in the next, let's say, 3 to 5 years, I'll make that money, maybe even quicker. So like, I know that for a fact. So it's like, I don't really care what happens right now. It's like, even if I go to zero, I don't care, because I know I'll achieve such bigger heights. But all that to say, mastery in your current thing is really what matters most. It's like, just making the inputs as best as possible, because the inputs is like, building a great product. If you build a great product, like, the marketing will take care of itself. Like Alex Moses said, you can either spend 2 years creating an exceptional product and the product or the customers will do the marketing for you, or you can spend 2 months creating a mediocre product, which is exactly what's happening in this industry right now, and you need to do marketing for the rest of your life. So Quentin and I spent a combined 200 hours on our free community. 200 hours on a free community of a 20-hour course, essentially. So you can check that out in the first link in the description. It's a free community, or like second link in the description. You're going to see there, join our free community. It's 20 hours of modules and videos that we put 200 hours of combined effort into. So People aren't even putting that much effort into their paid courses. And we did that in our free community. So just imagine the paid product, okay? If you actually pay for something, we just gave that away for free, just to build goodwill with the audience. So, like Alex said, you can either spend 2 years creating an exceptional product and the customers, that's literally what's happening right now. Like, we don't really do marketing for our community, yet it's growing by like 23% every single month. It's growing by 23% every single month by word of mouth. Our customers are doing the marketing for us. We aren't doing any marketing. Like every now and then I put out a story, but that's about it. Okay? So mastery about your current product, like that's the most important thing, and the outcome will take care of itself. So being good isn't enough. You have to be world class. Like all the spoils go to number one. All of it. Like who was third in the Olympics? 100-meter sprint. Like no one knows. Who was first? Probably Usain Bolt. Like everyone remembers number one. And the difference between number one, which is Usain Bolt, and number three, which I don't even know the name of, was like 0.2 seconds or something, like, or 0.15 seconds. Like tiny. But that tiny, change, or that tiny difference means taking it all and getting nothing. So if you are going to work at something, go all in, like go all out. Like if you're going to work at something, just give it all. Like just do as much as you can and literally achieve mastery in the process while doing it. As I mentioned, like number three probably worked just as hard as number one, but number one, Usain Bolt, just worked an extra, I don't know. Well, it didn't just work like an extra like 20 hours. Actually, like he probably worked an extra year, 2 years at his craft, which in this case is sprinting. He worked 2 years to achieve this much in difference in the when he was actually sprinting. But he gets all the prizes. He gets all the spoils. Number three gets nothing. So number three still put in years of work, right? And he got nothing. And Usain Bolt just went that extra mile, worked a little bit harder every single day, right? And he got everything. So that's where it all comes down to, is mastery, okay? Especially now with the internet and now everyone's connected, right? You can essentially learn from the best. So why are you going to learn from the second best or the third? You're going to learn from the best because you have access to all of them, right? And also this is where personal branding comes in. Some people just like to learn from other people that they know, like, and trust. If you like someone more, if you relate to someone more, you're going to listen to their stuff, even though, you're probably listening to me for business advice, but like there's other people who are much better, like a professor at, Harvard or something, or probably not Harvard, but like a professor at your local university. Why don't you listen to him? It's because, one, I'm actually doing what I'm preaching. The professor just learned about it. But number two, you just relate to me more. You like me more. You don't really like the professor. It's like, bro, I don't really relate to you at whatsoever. All right. So no, you actually need to know them to listen to them. So likability, that's actually a cognitive bias. If you like someone more, people do business with people they like, by the way. If you don't like someone, you're not going to do business with them. Like liking is actually very, very big. And then trust, obviously through proof and stuff like that. So number 7, your environment is everything. Obviously being surrounded by high achievers forces you to level up. If you're around winners, you'll start thinking, acting, and operating like one. So this is the whole thing about you're the sum of the 5 people. It's like, okay, cool. You've probably heard this a ton, but most people need to be reminded more than they need to be taught. Okay? So just to remind you again, your environment is everything. And if you don't have the immediate environment, we have a free community that you can join where you are surrounded by people with the same mission to get fucking jacked, right? To get jacked, also to make as much money as possible. And then with that, you're set to do anything. If you are jacked and you are free to do whatever you want in terms of money, like you are probably going to be a bit happier than you are right now. And you'll also increase the chances of you finding the love of your life, okay? So it's like this whole Tai Lopez thing, health, wealth, love, happiness. We take care of the health and the wealth, and with that, you can find your partner. You'll probably be a bit happier, but less miserable because you are rich and you are jacked. If you want to join that, it's a free community down below. And if you want some more help, some more exclusive help, There's also a link you can click on to have a chat with me for our exclusive community that you can join. So the free community is almost like a taste tester. All right. So, at the store, when you go there, they stand there with their boards with like what do you call it? I don't know, like a teaser, not a teaser, like a tester, a taste tester. So like this block of cheese, this new block of cheese is in a supermarket. You walk past and this lady gives you like a toothpick with a small piece of cheese on. You taste it and you're like, this kind of shit, and you move on. But if you join the free community, you'll see the product is so good, and our community is growing by 23% every single month by word of mouth. And why would you tell other people to join something if it's not good? Because your reputation is on the line if it's shit. Okay, so you can check that out down below. And if you want some more exclusive help, there's a link that you can click on to have a chat with me for our exclusive community, where it's just more one-on-one support, weekly calls with me, to help you with your business, and also, to be part of our inner circle that we have going on there. So, that's about that. 7 things I've learned. So let's just quickly go over them. Iman is just a normal guy, but he's just been at it for 10 straight years. The culture is insanely strong. Obviously, leadership, as I mentioned, the Robert Greene quote, act like a king if you want to be treated like one. And then they have a lot of fun as well. If you don't have fun, like, what are you actually doing? And also, if you have more fun, you're probably going to get better results as well. And the richest I've ever felt was making $3,000 a month, even though I'm making 10 times more that. And when I hit my first 10K a month, I was just like miserable completely. So that's probably going to happen to you as well, but you have to go through that to experience it, okay? Number 5, you can learn more from observation than direct advice. Obviously being surrounded by him. And that also ties into number 7, your environment is everything. And then number 6, mastery over everything, okay? So that's that. Hopefully you enjoyed this one, and then, leave a like, comment, do all those cool things, and then I see you on the next one. Cheers.